to Cosmopolitan Christ Church, India. We are at Cosmopolitan Christ Church, work together with Christ to spread the gospel, nothing but God's power, which can save the spiritual lives of Indians, Americans, British, German, Russian, and the Asians throughout the globe. We are at Cosmopolitan Christ Church, India, loves to serve and accommodate, instruct our foreigners in India without taking a single penny. Call us for more details to the number 7386005545.
Captain or sailor? Welcome back to Cosmopolitan Christ Church live streaming. Today I was at your screens with a new dimensional God's message. The title name is Captain or Sailor. Do you want to be a captain or do you want to be a sailor? So what is the difference between captain and sailor? Before that, how are you all? And God is loving us and we are improving our lives. We are having our quality lives day by day from the previous drastic and dangerous corona and pandemic, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. So, what is the difference between being a captain or being a sailor? Most of the time we think that captain and sailor are the same, but there is a lot of difference between being a captain and being a sailor. Captain is the one who leads the ship and who takes the responsibility of the passengers and take the ship's responsibility and take the passengers to the destination safely. These are the 2 points. One is destination and safety. Captain is the one who takes the passengers to a known destination safely. So that is the role, basic role of the captain. But what is the role of the sailor? Sailor is the one who put his life at risk and go beyond the borders and sail across the seas lonely and discover the places. So many people discovered so many continents by sailing in the seas lonely. You can take so many examples. So many people lonely sailed across the sea and they found continents like America, continents like so many countries. If you take, for example, Columbus. So Columbus is not a captain. Columbus is not a captain and he was not a captain to any ship. And he was not a captain who takes the passengers to a well-known destination, but he is the sailor who discovers the unknown destinations, unknown places. Dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members, today God is talking to you people and God is talking to all of us that do you want to be a captain? Otherwise, do you want to be a sailor? Being a captain, it means leading a safety life. Maybe some abnormalities, otherwise some cyclones, when the cyclones comes and when there is a disturbance in the sea, some mishaps happen. But most of the time, captain ship are in the safety mode. But sailors, every time, throughout their life, whenever they sail, they put their life to the risk. They put their life at the last and put the priority of finding the unknown destinations. So today God is wanting me to become a sailor so that we can find the lost souls. We can find the lost places. Are you ready for that, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members? So many people nowadays, so many Christians, so many believers, so many faith people, they are leading the safety faith. They are leading the safety faith. That means they go to church, hear come down and have the very natural worldly life. Otherwise, so many preachers or so many gospel people, they preach the same gospel, which is a safety one, which is a safety one for him, which is a safety one for the people. But they don't go beyond that. They don't go for adventurous faith. They don't go for adventurous gospel. They don't go for adventurous preaching, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church member. As like sailor always think about, plan about finding some newer destinations by putting his life at risk. Today we need the attitude of sailor in our Christianity, the attitude of sailor in our faith, the attitude of sailor in our gospel preaching or ministry, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. There may be so many captains who led their ships, but nobody remember about the captain. Do you know the captain's name of Titanic? Most of the people don't know. Maybe Titanic become very famous through that movie, but people remembered about Titanic itself, but nobody knows about a Titanic's captain. Only few people know that. So what I am trying to tell you is, if you are leading a safety faith, if you are leading a safety ministry, if you are protecting yourself, then like captain, nobody will remember you. Nobody will take your name to next generations, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church member. But if you take Columbus, he was a sailor. He found out America, and till now, to this 21st century, we are talking about him. We are naming his name, Columbus. And after our generation, our people, our kids' generation, their kids' generations, next generation also talk about Columbus. Yes, because Columbus had an adventurous journey. He discovered so many places. Like that, in our spirituality, in our Christianity, are we ready? Are we trying to do something extraordinary, something adventurous in our faith, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members? Because every day, if you can see in our lives, God is doing so many extraordinary, so many adventurous things. Maybe you are forgetting, otherwise maybe you are not recognizing it. But God is saving you from so many mishaps. God is saving you from so many dishonors. God is saving you from a lot of financial crisis, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Maybe you are ignoring it. Maybe you are not identifying God's miracles, God's adventures. Because our God is an adventurous God. When everything is lost, He is the God who can lift you up like anything and make you up like anything, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Today God is asking you, what kind of attitude you are having? Are you having the attitude of captain? Otherwise, are you having the attitude of sailor, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members? You are supposed, as a repentant, as a salvation personality, as a faith personality, as a Christian traditionally, you should, by this time, you should have an adventurous life. You put your life at risk. You put your faith at risk. You put your spirituality at risk so that you can find somebody new one. You can find some new souls, newer spirits to Christ, dear Cosmopolitan. No, not going to same church, not worshipping with the same people, not worshipping, otherwise singing songs with the same people throughout your life. It's not then spiritual adventure. Otherwise, adventurous spirituality. God is right now wanting a spiritual adventure, because He was doing adventures. He was doing miracles in your life, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church member. He put his life at risk on the cross so that you who are lost in souls, lost in spirits, are saved, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Jesus Christ put his life at risk and discovered you and taken you to the real faith, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. If you go to scriptures, Mark 9th chapter, 35th chapter. Anyone who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all. Anybody who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all. See, nowadays, if we are preaching, we feel like we are the leaders. If we have a church and if we are leading the church, we will feel like a leaders. But today, with this verse, God is talking to all of us that if I am giving you an opportunity to serve people, not to otherwise not to dominate the people, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. What are you doing with the opportunity given by Christ? If you are leading a church, otherwise if you are given an opportunity to preach the gospel, how you are feeling? Are you feeling like a servant? Are you feeling like a leader? Dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members, if you want to serve people, if you want to become a first person like Columbus to discover something new, then you have to serve. You feel like a servant, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Otherwise, you put your soul, you put your spirit, you put your faith to the least, to the last, so that you can find a newer spirits through your ministry, through your preaching, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church member. Entire your life in your spirituality. Put your life, put your spirits, put your faith at the last, so that you can find the newer lives, newer spirits, newer souls, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Because if you want to be like a captain for your church, if you want to be like a captain for your ministry, then you can only know to command your members like a subordinate. But if you want to be like a sailor to your church, to your ministry, denomination, you will keep on adding the lost souls. You will keep on discovering the lost spiritual souls, so that you can bring them to the real God, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. And if you can see Jonah 1st chapter 6th verse. Jonah 1st chapter 6th verse. So the captain approached him and said, "How is it that you are sleeping? Get up, call on your God. Perhaps your God will be concerned about us, so that we will not perish." Here, captain of the ship is asking help from a passenger, that is Jonah. Captain should perish, captain should command, but here captain came to Jonah and asking him to pray to his God, that is our God, so that he may save the ship from sinking. Dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members, you can only, if you want to become a captain, you can either command, otherwise, or you can either request. That's it. You have only two options. You can command, or you can excuse me, request. But if you want to be a sailor, if you go to Job 11th chapter 7th verse. Job 11th chapter 7th verse. Can you fathom the miseries of God? Can you probe the limits of Almighty? See, in this verse, in Job, in this verse, you have to discover the mysteries of God. You have to check the limits of God's love, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church. In dwelling in spirit, dwelling in faith means you have to check the mysteries. That means every day, every hour, every minute, every second, we have the attitude, you must have the attitude of knowing more about our God. You must have that thirst. You must have that wish that every time I must know about God much more, because how much more you know about our God, that is not enough. Throughout your life, you have to check the mysteries of God like a sailor. Sailors, throughout their life, they check for the unknown places. They try to discover the newer places. Like that, in our faith, like a sailor, we must always, throughout our life, every day, every hour, every minute, we have to explore the mysteries of God's activities, God's love, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. And like sailor, we have to spread the love of God limitlessly, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. Today we are talking about captain or sailor, and as we are talking, captain is entirely different and sailor is entirely different. Captain is in the safe side and sailor is in the adventurous side. So as a born Christian, as a born faith process follower, it's high time that you must turn from captain and become a sailor to find out the newer souls, to find out the lost souls to God, so that God will bless you like anything. That God's blessing, now I just want to clarify one thing, that God's blessing means not prosperity, not wealth, not having a fat bank balances, but if you don't have single penny in your account also, you will live respectfully. That is God's law. If you don't have peace of mind in your life also, you will lead a happy life. That is God's love. Whatever you lack, you don't count it, because you dependent on God, and God will give you so many opportunities, ways to escape from the dishonor in your lives, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. We don't need safety faith. What I am trying to tell you in one point is, as a faith process follower, we don't need safety faith, but we need adventurous faith. We need adventurous gospel, and we need to find out lost souls. We need to find out newer places where the gospel will be spread, so that souls will turn to God. Maybe in so many places, people are worshipping so many things like anything, but because the gospel is not there, and we have to sow the gospel seed there, so that they know that real God is our God, so that their lives will be fulfilled, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church member. So become like a sailor and live the safety and comfortable captain's life in our spiritual lives, dear Cosmopolitan Christ Church members. And this is Kumar signing off from Cosmopolitan Christ Church live streaming. I will be back tomorrow with a new dimensional life's message. Until then, keep safe, keep precautious. God bless you abundantly. Thank you so much.